Hi, good evening to all. Today we are going to see about the case study on climate change. Climate change is one of the major global crises. Nowadays we are facing this climate change, global warming. So warming, what is global warming? It refers to the long-term alteration of earth changes, earth climate pattern changes, primarily driven by the human activities. Human activities are the main reason to release the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So the main purpose of this presentation is to address the current state of climate changes, and also what are the consequences we are facing and how to reduce this type of climate changes. So we are all affected by this global warming as well as climate changes. So rising temperature is one of the main reason for climate change. So how this temperature rises? There is a correlation between the emission and temperature rises. So increase in the greenhouse gases emission due to the human activities, the temperature rises occurs in the global temperature in the atmosphere. The global temperature rises due to the releasing of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So there is a correlation between the emission and temperature rises. Greenhouse gases emission is one of the main reason for in the climate changes. The greenhouse gas emissions, so the main greenhouse gases are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide. The one of the important main contributor of greenhouse gases is main contributor of global warming is carbon dioxide. It's one of the important greenhouse gases. So the mainly it's obtained from the burning of fossil fuel. Fossil fuel, especially the burning of fossil fuels, are used in thermal power plant to produce electricity. So carbon dioxide, coal is the major source to produce the electricity in the thermal power plants. So the coal produce the carbon dioxide as a waste, it enter into the atmosphere. Nowadays, the increasing the population, drastic vehicle increases, and automobile industries and many other industries produce unwanted gases into the atmospheres like sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, as well as methane gases. Methane is also obtained from the agriculture industry, livestock and rice cultivation, and land fillings. These are also the reason for production of methane gas. These also enter into the atmosphere. So the carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, these are all enter into the atmosphere. So the emission increases, it leads to the increase in temperature. And next, the main sources of emission, the fossil fuel combustion chambers to produce the electricity, it emits the carbon dioxide as a waste gas, carbon dioxide emission. So this carbon dioxide can be easily absorbed by the forest, by the trees, but nowadays we are cutting the trees due to increasing the populations. So for the modernizations, we are occupying the forest areas with the human intrusion is increases, human encroachment is increases inside the forest for our educational purpose, research purpose, as well as for our urbanization, industrialization. We are cutting trees, we are occupying the forest area, so deforestation occurs. So the deforestation is one of the major reason to increase the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So this carbon dioxide absorbed by the plants, nowadays it will be reduced. That's why the carbon dioxide percentage is goes on increasing in the atmosphere. And next important thing is what are the main impacts on sea levels. So the melting glaciers and polar ice caps. So the temperature rises leads to melting of glaciers as well as polar ice caps. The rising temperature leads to accelerated melting of glaciers and ice of polar regions, and as well as sea level definitely rises. The melting ice and glaciers melts leads to increases the sea level rise because the land areas is occupied by the sea levels. Sea level rises are also one of the main reason to increase the global warming. And next thing is and also this type of climate changes leads to some disasters will happen like hurricane, droughts, floods, etc. So main hurricanes means that is a cyclone formation occurs in the that is the coastal regions. Why this type of hurricanes are the cyclones will form due to increasing the temperature. Temperature increases, the sea level also increases, the glaciers melts, unexpected sea level rises due to the glaciers or polar ice melts. It leads to that the temperature rises due to the temperature changes will occur above the sea level. It leads to the temperature changes are also main reason for hurricanes or cyclone formation occurs on the coastal regions, as well as droughts. Droughts is also another reason for rising the climatic pattern. Whether we are expecting the rain, but that time we are not getting rain. We are not expecting rain, that time it will come. So this is the climate changes. The climate changes mostly affect some of the areas are affected in drought, some of the areas are affected in flood. So this is also the another reason for increasing the global warming. So unexpected disasters happened in the earth, as well as wildfires, the forest fires. These are all happen due to this climate change. And next, human health impact. Human health is also affected due to increasing the climate change. Flood time, we know very well the flood time, the many waterborne diseases, and drought time, UV radiation directly affect the human beings. It leads to the skin cancer, bone cancer. The DNA is severely affected due to the heavy temperature, heavy UV radiation attack the human being skins. So and also waterborne disease. Unexpected climate changes leads to flood is at the time of flood, the peoples are affected severely by many types of waterborne diseases, as well as air pollution is also increases due to industrial activities. Carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and nitrous oxide, it leads to air pollution. Air pollution is the another reason for climate change. Air pollution mainly intensifying heat and promoting the formation of ground level ozone ground and fine particulate matters increases. It leads to the air pollution. So next important thing, global effects to combat climate changes. Climate changes the adopted in 2000 the Paints Agreement. International agreements, global effort to combat climate change. The Paris Agreement, adopted in 2015. The Paris Agreement is a landmark international accord within the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Its central goal is to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial level, aiming for 1.5 degrees Celsius. Goals for reducing greenhouse gases emissions. Countries commit to nationally determined contributions, outlining their specific targets for reducing emissions. NDCs are regularly updated to reflect increased ambitions and progress. Mitigation strategies, pathways to a sustainable future. Transition to renewable energy. Shift from fossil fuel to renewable sources like solar, wind, hydropower, and geothermal energy. Reduce greenhouse gases emission and dependence on non-renewable resources. Promote energy efficiency. Improve energy efficiency in industries, buildings, transportation, and appliances. Decreases energy consumption, lowering emission and cost. Reforestation and afforestation. Reforesting degraded land and afforesting new areas to increase carbon sequestration. Helps restore ecosystem, enhance biodiversity. Success stories. Transitioning to renewable energies, Germany achieved over 40% of its electricity from renewable in 2020. China investment in renewable, world largest producer of solar panels and wind turbines, significantly reducing emissions. And the role of individuals, making different locally. The lifestyle changes. Individuals can reduce their carbon footprint by adopting sustainable practices. Example include using public transport, reducing meat consumption, and minimizing single-use plastics. Personal carbon footprint reduction. reduce energy consumption by using energy efficient appliances and lighting, practice water conservation and water waste, reduce water waste through the recycling and composting. And advocating for policy changes, individuals can engage in local and national initiatives, vote for environmentally conscious leaders, and participate in grassroots movement. So success stories, the main thing, a teenage climate activist who inspired millions to demand stronger climate policies. So global student lead strikes for climate action and promoting policy discussions, the Fridays for Future movement. So, conclusion, call to action. The climate change is an urgent global crisis driven by human activities and resulting in rising temperature, sea level rises in extreme weather events, and health risk. Greenhouse gas emission, primarily from fossil fuel, are the main culprits behind climate changes and its impacts. Climate introduced migration, displacement, and loss of biodiversity are among the challenges we face. So, urgency and collective action. The urgency of addressing climate change cannot be overstated as its effects are already being felt across the globe. Immediate and collective action on a global scale is essential to prevent further irreversible damages. So, by working together, we can forge a path towards a more sustainable and resilient future, ensuring a healthy planet for generations to come. Thank you.